A warm welcome to Disky Talk with Luyolo. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I do ask that you please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you've been a part of this journey, I hope you thoroughly enjoy this episode. So, on today's episode, I discuss all things Kaizer Chiefs as I have a tactical feature focus of the transfer window, where then I have a look at the new players that have signed for Kaizer Chiefs. So, on today's episode then, the focus will be on three players. That is given Msimango, that is Thatayaone, Ditlhokwe, and Mduduzi, Mdantsane. So when you then have a look at Kaizer Chiefs, they've made a whole host of signings, but as the weeks go on then I will do episodes to cover the other players, but on today's episode I focus on these three players. So when you have a look at Kaizer Chiefs then, this is a team then that had a very tough season last season, as they didn't finish with any silverware, which then made it another year without any silverware. So going into this season then, they will want to ensure that they can improve their efforts and be able then to start challenging for trophies. So when you have a look at Kaizer Chiefs then, there has also been a coaching change. So we have seen that Coach Ntseki has taken over as the head coach from Coach Arthur Zwane, who will then become the assistant coach. So when you have a look at it then, we will start with Ditlhokwe. So when you have a look at Ditlhokwe, this is a player then who is left-footed. He is a centre-back, a player then who was playing at Supersport for the past couple of seasons, and a player then who is also then a Botswana international. Player then who's also captained Supersport as well, also captained the national team as well. So when you have a look at Ditlhokwe then with regards to his qualities, first of all, he is left-footed, which is a rare find when it comes then to centre-backs within world football. Then, when you have a look at it then, is a player then who is very strong aerially and also then very strong when it comes to ground duels and also how then he looks to read the game. So this is a player then who would come into this Kaizer Chiefs defensive department and improve it, especially considering that Kaizer Chiefs really struggled defensively last season and couldn't really then be able to find consistency with regards to the centre-back pairing and couldn't find consistency with regards to how they wanted to play out the back and also then how then they look to defend. So when you look at Ditlhokwe, this is a player then who does bring much needed quality within that left-sided centre-back position for this Kaizer Chiefs side, as he is a player then who was also comfortable on the ball with regards to looking to progress it from deep pockets of space. So this is a player then who can be able to ensure that Kaizer Chiefs can look to build up. He would be taking it on his left foot, on his natural side, and look then to progress play for this Kaizer Chiefs side. He can also then play at left back, and within a back three then he can also play as the left-sided centre-back. So this is a player then who brings a lot of qualities to this Kaizer Chiefs backline, a player then who also has those leadership skills as well. When you move on then right along, you have a look at given Msimango. This is a player then who played every minute of last season, a player then who was also nominated within the category for Defender of the Season. He had a great season for THIER's Galaxy, and he led them very well, and he was then part and parcel of that defense, which was the second best defense within the league last season. Very good leadership skills, very good communicator, very good organizer. And then when you look at his qualities with regards to how he is in possession, very comfortable on the ball with regards to starting play from the back, and a player then who's got very good technical ability with regards to how then he would be looking to progress play from deep pockets of space, where then when there's no pressure on him, he is very suited then with regards to progressing the ball at his feet, and the player then who can also play those diagonal passes into space or looking then to find his men, and also then aerially very dominant. This is the player then who does stand at 191, so he is a giant. And another positive then is that within the opposition box, he is a threat where then he can look then to add goals for this Kaizer Chiefs side, especially when it comes to those set pieces from corners and from direct free kicks as well. So when you have a look at it then, these are two centre-backs who are aerially dominant, two centre-backs then who can chip in with goals for this Kaizer Chiefs side, especially given Simango. Both of them have been captains for their previous teams. So these are two players then who will bring in much needed quality for this Kaizer Chiefs defense. But it does become key then that they are able to strike up a very good partnership, because I do think that this is the new centre-back pairing for this Kaizer Chiefs side, and I do think then that they would complement each other very well, especially considering that the qualities that they possess. A player then in given Msimango who also has great game intelligence. When you move on then right along, have a look at Mduduzi Mdantsane. When you have a look at Mduduzi Mdantsane, this is an attacking midfielder and a player then who would bring the much needed quality into that Kaizer Chiefs midfield, especially considering that the Kaizer Chiefs midfield in the past seasons has really struggled and really lacked creativity, final third penetration and goals as well. That is what Mduduzi Mdantsane brings in abundance. However, then if there were to be a drawback, it would be that last season he didn't quite hit the form that he had hit in the previous season, where then he was able then to contribute with a lot of goals for that Cape Town City side. A player then who is left-footed, great game intelligence with regards to his positioning in between the lines, with regards to how he looks to take the ball and progress it. Very comfortable in tight pockets of space. Also then very good when it comes then to making those line-breaking passes in behind and looking then to break into the box. Very cool, very composed, with great technical ability. Also then did take penalties for Cape Town City, where he had a very, very good conversion rate. So that is Mduduzi Mdantsane. The only drawback I would say to him then is that last season he did struggle for form, and at a point he did also struggle then for fitness. With regards to these two, the only drawback I would say then is that none of them possess a lot of speed. So it is going to become key then that they are able then to ensure that they can cover each other well, especially then when Kaizer Chiefs are in possession and they have instituted a high line. So those are the three players then that we focused on today's feature focus episode from a tactical perspective and how they'd fit in. With Mduduzi Mdantsane then, he does play as a 10. So it's going to be very interesting to see then if Kaizer Chiefs do play with the 4-2-3-1 under coach Ntseki, or if they play with a different system. If they do play with the 4-3-3, Mduduzi Mdantsane can also play as an advanced 8, where when he did play for Baroka, he did play as an 8, and at times he did play a lot deeper. Player then who's also very comfortable with regards to progressing the ball from deep pockets of space. So he's very comfortable in possession with regards to his passing range, how then he reads the game, combination play, and how then he can look to break into the box as well. So he can also look to play as an advanced 8 as opposed then to a 10. And even then as opposed to maybe then a second striker. So those are the three signings that we touched on today in Ditlhokwe, in given Simango, and Mduduzi Mdantsane as well. However, at home, do let me know, what do you make of these three signings for Kaizer Chiefs? Do you think that they improved Kaizer Chiefs? Or do you think then that, like many players who've come to Kaizer Chiefs who are very good at their previous clubs, they will end up struggling and not find that form that they were able to hit at their previous clubs? With regards to ratings then, and how do I foresee these signings? So with Ditlhokwe and Msimango, I think these are very, very good signings that really do improve the Kaizer Chiefs defense, which then will also see Edmilson Dove moving then to his much more natural position, which is left back, as opposed to the left-sided centre-back role. With Mduduzi Mdantsane, I also think that he is a very good signing, considering then what he can do and what his level is. Like I did mention, the drawback being then that he did struggle for form in the past season. So it does become interesting then to see then how then does he look to rediscover that form, where then he was doing very well at Cape Town City, he was scoring the goals, he got those assists, and he was creating big chances consistently. So those are the three players then with regards to the new players for this Kaizer Chiefs side that have been unveiled. And as the weeks progress, I will be looking at the other signings as well and how do they fit into Kaizer Chiefs. But for today, that is it. Thank you very much for tuning in to yet another special episode of Diski Talk with Liolo. Signing out.